Good day, students. I hope I find you well. Today, I want to talk about this gas, sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide. Now, sometimes you find out that it can be found in our food. Sometimes you see your food packaging is written E220. Okay, so it's they're saying it's a food additive. Which we find in some food packaging, and there's a reason as to why sulfur dioxide can be put in our food. It is for preserving, to make sure that the shelf life of the food is actually longer. Okay, sulfur dioxide. So we could get a question such as, how do we make sulfur dioxide? How is sulfur dioxide prepared? Well, in chemistry, there are a number of ways that we can use to prepare sulfur dioxide. One of the easiest way is simply to have sulfur plus oxygen, and then you get sulfur dioxide. Okay, but we also have some compounds that can be burnt in air to produce sulfur dioxide. For instance, you can have zinc sulfide. It can also be burnt in air, and when you do that, you have zinc oxide plus sulfur dioxide. So that can also serve as a source of sulfur dioxide in industry. Okay, things like iron, some compounds of iron, which is iron sulfide, they can also be burnt in air to produce sulfur dioxide, even lead sulfide. So these are some of the sources that we can use to form sulfur dioxide. Okay, and what are the uses? What are some of the industrial uses of sulfur dioxide? And please take note, in our exams, when we say state one use of sulfur dioxide, we are referring to an industrial use. Okay, so sulfur dioxide has found a number of uses in industries. Okay, sulfur dioxide can actually be used in the preparation of sulfur trioxide. You still remember when you are preparing sulfuric acid in the contact process, you have sulfur dioxide, it reacts with oxygen, you form sulfur trioxide, and then the sulfur trioxide reacts with water to form sulfuric acid. So preparation of sulfuric acid is also one use of sulfur dioxide. But a person could say, why is it a useful additive? Okay, because you see, sulfur dioxide, when it dissolves in water, it can form a weak solution of an acid, and bacteria can be destroyed in that way. So the deterioration, the rotting process of food can actually be slowed down when sulfur dioxide is used as a preservative. Okay, so sulfur dioxide, of course, when it goes out in the air, it can also has issues in causing acid rain, because the sulfur dioxide can react with oxygen, forming sulfur trioxide, and then during the condensation process of the water cycle, that can also result in the production of acid rain. So sulfur dioxide is actually a very important, gas in industries. It has found a number of uses, and besides being used in the contact process, it can also be used in bleaching of several substances when we are preparing wood, pulp, silk, even straw. It can also be used in the making of wine, insecticide, fungicide, and so forth. Because of its acidic nature, sulfur dioxide can also be used for that. Okay, but what's the test for sulfur dioxide? You still remember what we do if we want to test for sulfur dioxide. Okay, in the lab, we can actually use potassium permanganate, okay, to test for sulfur dioxide. Potassium permanganate, okay. The color of potassium permanganate is actually purple. Okay, when we mix potassium permanganate with sulfur dioxide, because of the fact that it's a reductant. Remember, sulfur dioxide can be converted into sulfur trioxide. It gets oxidized very quickly. Okay, because it can be oxidized very quickly, it means in the process it's going to be a reductant. So once you put your sulfur dioxide in potassium permanganate, you are going to have a color change from purple to pink. Okay, please don't use words like colorless. Okay, it's going to be a process whereby potassium permanganate is going to be changed from purple to pink. What has happened here is the manganate, the purple, is actually manganate plus 7, okay? And the pink is manganate plus 2. So if you check from plus 7 to plus 2, this is actually manganate being reduced, okay? So the manganate is going to be reduced, but the sulfur dioxide will be changed to sulfur trioxide. It's going to be oxidized, but the manganate is going to be reduced. So sulfur dioxide, this one, can be called a reductant, okay? So when we are testing for it in the lab, we use this property of being a reductant. And potassium permanganate, the purple solution you get in the lab, is actually permanganate, which is manganate plus 7 oxidation state. So when you mix it, when it is allowed to interact with sulfur dioxide, it will be changed to manganese plus 2. And the manganese plus 2 ions are usually pink in color, and that is a reduction. Sulfur dioxide is known as a very good reductant. So this is in brief what we need to know about sulfur dioxide as an industrial gas. Remember, whenever we say state one use, okay, of these gases, we are normally interested in the industrial use, okay? So if they say state one use of carbon dioxide, all right, usually stick to industrial use, such as the manufacture of dry ice. State one use of oxygen, stick to industrial use, okay, such as in the purification of iron ore, the cast iron that we get from the blast furnace. Hospitals, whereby people can be put on oxygen tanks when they are not feeling very well. So uses of gases, check your syllabus, please. Stick to industrial uses. I thought I should just go through with you in the session today for sulfur dioxide as a gas, and why you'd actually see E220 is actually sulfur dioxide, which can be a preservative. Why? Because sulfur dioxide is acidic in nature. Remember, oxides can be metallic or can be non-metallic oxide. This is a non-metal sulfur, so it's a non-metallic oxide, and because the non-metallic oxide is acidic in nature, and when it dissolves in water, it can actually produce acidic solution, and that can actually reduce the decaying process of food. Thank you for listening to this session. I hope you've learned something, and you can use it in your exam.